Hello, and welcome back to Games Broadcasting and BS. That's bullshit. Mm-hmm. And that is with Nick and Wendy, all right? I'm Nick. We got Wendy over here. How you doing today?
Hi. I'm all right. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. First, I want to come on and say that we did miss last week's episode.
My fault.
I do formally apologize as someone that also hosts the podcast. But we've learned and put it in a safety net this time around.
We're on Wednesday now. Hello, Wednesday. Nice to meet you.
We're recording / doing it on Wednesdays now, so we kind of have a buffer day.
Michael Buffer, yes.
And how we're going to run this now is, do the stuffs on Wednesdays and then put up the podcast after we do it. So
Friday.
You might see the podcast Thursday. You might see
really?
it Thursday.
I thought we were... Okay, this is new to me. I thought we were still doing the podcast Friday. It was going to go to all the platforms Friday.
Yeah, so basically, it's just, I want to have it there as soon as we can get it there.
Okay, that makes sense.
But just expect the podcast to be there by Friday. All right?
Friday.
That's going to be the thing, all right? By Friday is what it's going to be by, so we don't miss a week.
Right,
all right?
Okay.
So that's what we're going to do it. That's how things are going to roll. So yeah.
You want to tell the lovely listeners where they can find you out on the interwebs?
Y'all can find me as Nickinator15 on the interwebs, or the real Nickinator on Instagram. So Nickinator15 everywhere: TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, blah 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 blah. But
everywhere your thumbs can take you, but Instagram, right?
Yeah,
Instagram special.
Yeah, that's special. But that's the real Nickinator, because I'm not the fake one around here. I'm the real one. Where can they find where can they find you on the internet?
So I am twitch.tv/BravoChick and then @BravoChick on Twitter and Instagram. I'm not cool enough to be on the TikTok. It's more of like a safety measure, because I know if I ever downloaded it, I would be hopelessly addicted, and I too would become one of the doom scrollers. So
it hooks you
that's
right
why
in.
I'm not on. Yeah. Like
it
Twitch and YouTube already do that for me. So
yeah,
I'm hooked enough. And this lovely stuff, the Red Bull, that maybe one day they'll sponsor us and give me a lifetime supply. That's the dream right there. That's why I'm doing this. I just want a lifetime supply of Red Bull.
Yeah, we don't like games or anything. We just come on here and pretend.
I can't stand games. Oh my god. Have y'all watched me play a game? I'm awful at it. Like, I'm so bad at this. I'm not here for the game. Come on. Just here for the
I've seen
Red
her
Bull.
truck. That's all I gotta say.
Whoa, pot calling kettle black right there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I do want to also say, it's not to make up for anything, all right? We're here to do what we want to do, and that's talk about games a lot. We like games. Mm-hmm. So next week, we're going to be back on, only 1 week later, to do a special podcast on Gamescom.
A GBBS special all on Gamescom. Looking forward to it.
That's right. So you're going to get, I guess that'll make, 3 weeks in a row of us?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You're going to be so sick of us, you're going to be like, oh my God, when are they ever going to leave?
Right? So, yeah. Just wanted to announce that. That's what we're doing. Gamescom is happening as we speak this week. Mm-hmm. 4 days.
Yeah. I streamed the opening night yesterday, and it was a lot of fun. Seen a lot of really interesting games. Some games can't wait to talk about for sure on there. And
so many cool games.
If you see a game that you like that's on Gamescom, write to us at GBBSpodcast@gmail.com and let us know what games you're looking forward to from Gamescom 2022.
There you go, guys. You heard it first. GBBSpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know your games. Do it.
That's right.
We want to hear from you.
Send us your Plead the Fifth questions as well. It's a new segment, but we need questions. Send us questions for, it could be literally about anything. Your questions at GBBSpodcast@gmail.com as well.
Hell yeah. Question us up. Let us know which, what questions you got. We want to hear them.
You could be like, hey, Wendy, why is Pepsi the best drink in the world? And I will answer you, or something like that. It could be literally what kind of shoes you wear, how old were you when you had your first boyfriend or girlfriend, anything. So the last episode was, we covered Grand Theft Auto 6 news, the Montana DLC, which is amazing, and game controllers. It was a lot of fun.
Man,
we got to talk about our wheel and whatnot.
You reminded me. I almost forgot that DLC came out. I played it once, and I have not gone on to play more of it. And I know I'm slacking, and I need to get on some trucking and explore a little bit more of Montana. I did a nice run that one night. We did a lot of trucking that one night. We went around. Yeah. We did like a circle around the whole state. Because I did another trip afterwards with Trucker DJ, and it pretty much brought me in a full loop. I just haven't done the middle section, basically. So, but yeah, Montana.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. It gets the Bravo seal of approval.
There you go, the seal of approval from Bravo. All right.
That's right.
Seasoned American Truck Simulator player. Right there.
Big trucker around these parts,
Oh, boy.
But yeah, so Gamescom, like we said, it's out. We're not going to really talk about it much this episode. That will be in the special episode coming sometime next week.
We're going to gather some of our own opinions on the games. I know I want to take a dive into more game trailers and stuff and really take a look and kind of put down on my list what I'm really looking forward to. And I kind of want to put a small review of what I've seen for the gameplay and stuff. So it's going to be a whole episode on that. And there's going to be a lot to talk about, so.
All right. I'm really looking forward to it. I think that's going to be a fun episode. But this episode, you have been playing some Spider-Man there recently, haven't you?
Oh, boy. Yeah, speaking of new games and things coming out and whatnot, Spider-Man. So the remastered version has just come out on PC just under 2 weeks ago. And I've already finished the game, the main story, basically. I finished the main story. There's still a lot of side missions and some DLC missions I need to go and do. But holy moly, Spider-Man, it's so good. And I've watched like Spider-Man and whatnot, right? And what's cool about the game is it's a little bit different than the movies in a way. It takes a lot of the qualities and stuff that are the same as the movie, but it's got its own different twist to it. So even if you've like watched them and stuff, you know, it's kind of a different, take on things, which is really neat. The graphics are phenomenal. There's a lot of, swinging around New York, Manhattan and stuff, and seeing really cool graphics, and it runs really smooth. Except for a couple bugs I've come across. There's a few bugs I come across. One's an audio bug. It makes some weird scrambly noise. I've had it happen 3 or 4 times. Okay. And I have to restart the whole game in order for it to be fixed.
Oh, yeah, that's
not
good.
So it's slightly annoying. And there's another one where you have to collect backpacks throughout the city. A lot of items. It's like a collectible. Yeah. And there was one time I came across the icons were there, but the backpacks were invisible. I couldn't see them. And they make a noise. They're supposed to make a noise. No noise or anything. So it's like they didn't even render in at all. I don't know. I don't know how. Like, I've never really seen these kind of bugs. Like, that audio bug, I've never had in a video game ever. So it's just kind of interesting to come across those. And it was hurting my ears. It was bad, ear screeching. So, yeah.
It wasn't like something you could just ignore. It was like a game-breaking bug.
It was like, I need to restart this game right now. And when you're in the middle of a mission, it's annoying. It is annoying to have to
That's
restart.
the last thing you want to do, right?
Yeah. And, so... Unfortunately, there was a few bugs, but other than that, it was still a phenomenal game. And right now, it's put at the top of my pedestal for Game of the Year.
Ooh.
And that's not for games I've just played. It's for new releases this year.
Okay, that's
which
interesting.
Technically, I will say Spider-Man is a new release. It's a remastered version on PC. That's a new release, even though it came out 4 years ago on PlayStation originally.
It's new to the PC, so...
Yeah.
Right?
And it's completely revamped, new graphics, new everything. So...
That's awesome.
Phenomenal. But yeah, very good game. And at the very end, it gave a pathway. It had two... it basically gave 2 options for sequels. Which they're doing both. They're doing both sequels. So one path is Miles Morales, which is already a game that's been released. and it's going to be coming to PC soon. So I'm going to be playing through that. And another pathway is the main game. So it's really cool how they ended that and kind of showed that the game has two different directions and they're going to do both. So
yeah, looking forward to it. That's it's really, I guess what they wanted to do is open up an avenue so they could produce 2 more Spider games, basically, is what Spider-Man games, basically.
Yeah, and I'm sure they could even go further after the second game comes out, which I think is in 2023, is when they're planning on releasing
next year.
Spider-Man 2. So that will be interesting. It seems like, Green Goblin's known in that kind of Marvel universe. It seems like Spider-Man 2 is going to partake with Goblin, the Green Goblin, in some way or form. I feel like that's just, that's what I feel like anyway. So
yeah, I feel like the Green Goblin is to Spider-Man what the Joker is to Batman. It's that premier bad guy type situation.
It's got the laugh and,
Oh, yeah. Brilliant.
So, anyhow. Yeah, that's what I've been up to. Spider-Man, incredible. And can't wait for further games and for me to play more of it. There's more to play in it, so I'm going to get back to it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So, I picked up Way of the Hunter that has recently came out. It's another hunting game. Really good game. However, I refunded it. That's not to say it's a bad game. I think it's a really good game. I think it's more for the hardcore hunter, though. I shot, I think, a dozen different animals, and for the life of me, I could not find them, and I could not track them. But that's based on me, someone who I've never went and hunted a day in my life. The only thing I've ever done is played Call of the Wild. And so in that aspect of it, it was also a $50 game, and it's just me personally. I don't think I would get my money's worth out of it. So I was like, you know what? This game really isn't for me, so I'm going to go ahead and refund it. That being said, beautiful game. The hunting is certainly more difficult than Call of the Wild. Shooting, like the animals, apparently they know you're there a lot faster than they would in Call of the Wild.
Right.
And the tracking system is heads and shoulders way more difficult than Call of the Wild. And I'm comparing it to Call of the Wild because that's the only hunter game that I have played, so that's kind of like my barometer when it comes to games like this.
Well, I think that's the most known hunting game, right?
I would think so, yeah.
When people talk about a hunting game to me, I haven't played a hunting game, right? But when someone says like a hunting game, I think of Call of the Wild.
You're right.
Because I don't know of many other ones. If there are other hunting games, they're probably not very good or known of.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty on Steam, but Call of the Wild is really the benchmark as well.
So when I saw Way of the Hunter, I saw like the trailer, a gameplay like video of it. I thought, oh, it looks pretty neat, right? And it looked like there were some mechanics that looked better than Call of the Wild and whatnot. So I even sent it over to Wendy, and I'm like, hey, check out this game. And I think you said, yeah, I've like already seen it or something. And then you went to go try it that day.
Yeah, I really liked it. And if it's ever in a Steam sale, I'll probably end up grabbing it again. Because there were some new features, of which I cannot think of any right now, that I did like. And I think if I stuck to it and, really gave it the time that is needed, I'd be fine with it. But since I didn't think I was going to get my money's worth for it necessarily, I was like, you know what, I'm going to trade this and get my $50 bill back and go get a game that I think I'll enjoy. So, but yeah, I think, what's it called? Way of the Hunter. If you're a hardcore, avid hunter fan, whether be it in real life or of video games, I think you're going to love this.
Yeah.
Several of my friends that I know that play Call of the Wild have said that they believe Way of the Hunter is as good as Call of the Wild, if not better, and see that, with it going forward, it may one day outrank Call of the Wild. So, yeah.
There you go, because Way of the Hunter is in early access, right?
Yeah.
So they're still developing. And
is it?
Oh, may not be. May not be.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
So it's like a hardcore game.
Hardcore hunting game, yeah. Like it's way more difficult to hunt down your prey after you've shot it, basically.
Okay. I wouldn't know much. I don't play hunting. I've never played Call of the Wild, but Wendy here, I know, has played quite a bit of
I love Call of the Wild. Like, it's such a chill, fun game. I didn't think I was going to like it at all. I bought it to play with a friend just to be like something we could play together. And I ended up loving it. I'm like, wow, this game's a lot of fun.
There you go.
I could never shoot anything in real life because I'm a huge animal lover. But yeah, I could. But on there, I'll shoot anything and everything.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And
So
same
not
with
quite
fishing
for
games. I know
me.
fishing games like Call of the Wild has like another fishing thing coming out. The same developers.
August 29th, yeah. They've got Call of the Wild, The Fisherman, or something like that coming out, and I will be getting that, and I'm really excited about that game. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've played some like smaller like fishing games or whatever, but I don't know. We'll see. It could be something interesting. What I would love is if like the only time I see myself maybe doing a fishing game is if it was a multiplayer game where you have like 4 people or something. You get on like a boat. Like you guys got your characters. You get on like a boat or something, whether it be a small fishing boat or a bigger boat, and you just go sit in the middle of the pond and you go fishing. You go off the boat or something and you're sitting there. Like even like, oh my God, VR would make it even like,
oh my God,
oh,
yes.
that would be so much fun. You turn
That would
over,
be so cool.
You see your friends or something. Man, screw this real life shit, right?
Oh yeah, screw it. Yeah. I would think The Fisherman is going to be multiplayer, just because Call of the Wild is multiplayer. So, yeah, playing the Hunter Call of the Wild multiplayer, it is a lot of fun.
Very nice, very nice.
But that's about all I have to say on
Way of the Hunter.
Good game, not for me, but it might be for you. Check it out.
There you go. Hogwarts delayed again.
Yep, Hogwarts Legacy has been pushed to next year with a tentative release date of February 10th, 2023.
Now get this. I'm okay with this.
Oh, me too.
I'm so okay with this. And you want to know why?
I would rather a game get a delayed in release than to get a game and it be full of bugs.
That's one of the reasons. But 2, I'm looking at the games coming out later this year and I'm already overwhelmed.
You're like, I don't have time for you, Harry. I gotta go play something else, you know?
Yeah, I really don't because I got a few games I'm looking at right now. Right off the top of my head, Gotham Knights comes out October
25th?
something. 21st. They changed the release date on that. So that game actually got pushed forward.
Yeah, that game has been pushed forward by a few days, which is awesome.
Which I'm okay with because so that game was originally the 25th and Call of Duty was coming out on the 28th.
Yeah.
I got a whole week now. I can play with Gotham Knights. I got a whole week before Call of Duty comes out. So
yeah, I'm really excited about Dark Knights. I'm not very skilled specifically in games like that, but I love the Batman universe, so I cannot wait to dive into that. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that game is really not something you need to be a skilled gamer on. You can just be your, person that comes on. He even comes on like a couple times a month and plays games and enjoy playing that game. I find them to be very easy, just like Spider-Man. I played on the highest difficulty I could at the beginning of the game, and I found it like it was kind of tough, but it wasn't the hardest thing because when you play through the game, you unlock a higher difficulty. But if I were to play on the easiest difficulty in Spider-Man, I would be laughing.
Yeah.
But, so I feel like Gotham Knights is going to be the same way. Whereas if you were to play on the easiest difficulty, it would be quite easy.
Which is what I'll be playing. So don't come by my stream and difficulty shame me, okay? Okay?
I'm going to be playing on the max difficulty.
There you go. You can get it from 2 perspectives. I will probably play on easy mode and still struggle to death while Nick breezes through and he's like, oh, I'm done with that game. Next.
Yeah. Well, I still think I'm going to struggle and be a little frustrated in some moments. Like there's been some times where in Spider-Man on that max difficulty, I get hit once and my health goes down like 3/4. And I'm like, max health. I got max level already. My health is pretty high. Like you get a health bonus every level you go up, and I'm like, I'm losing a lot of health on like this guy hitting me. But I only died like less than 10 times, which is phenomenally good for me. Okay, that's really good for me. When I play a game, I usually play on the 3rd out of 4th difficulty. If there's 4 difficulty options, I play on the 3rd is usually what I go with. And I die.
That's like your zone right there. Huh?
I die a plethora amount of times. Like it's crazy. All the time. And it's kind of a funny thing, you know. I'm like, oh my gosh, I died again.
No, not again.
But yeah, Spider-Man I didn't really struggle a whole lot with. So yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see how, I played one of the Batman Arkham or something like that long time ago. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And, yeah, maybe that'll be my game of the year. I was thinking that. I'm like, what would be my game of the year so far?
That might be the only thing that tops it for me on Spider-Man, but I don't know. I still do not know. I love the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
I really do. And I haven't watched enough Batman. I really haven't.
If I could, like, trade some of the, like, lower level superheroes from Marvel to DC for Batman, I'd do it, because I would love to see Batman in the Marvel, the Marvel comic universe, the MCU or whatever?
The cinematic universe.
Or the cinematic universe, whatever. But, like, because apart from Batman, I've never been too crazy about Superman or any of the others. I can't really name any more than that, but yeah, Batman's he's always been my guy, because he's not necessarily your Captain America goody two shoe kind of guy. He's a very dark person,
right?
Who does it for self-interest. You know, it just so happens that he's saving the city while he's doing it. Like, that's basically how I see Batman. He's a vigilante, but has self-interest in it as well. So
that's a good way to put it.
That's how I've always seen Batman.
Yeah, but no, like it's gonna be an interesting game. I know the Batman games were good ones. They were always rated very highly. Games that I have yet to play. I played a little bit of Arkham Origins. It's the only game I played. I haven't finished it. I put like 6 hours into it back in 2013. Yeah. And I haven't played any other Batman games, but I love playing it. I don't know why I never really set my attention on Batman to play through.
He gets all my attention. Something about that rubber suit. Woo.
Oh boy! So that's what you ladies think of when you look at like Batman.
Oh yeah, come
like,
on. You know, it's like, oh, put your mask on there, honey. You know, I want Batman. I don't know what's his name. Bruce Wayne. Who's that? Who cares?
All right. So what were we talking?
Epic deals right now. Free on Epic. You can get Rumbleverse and Doom 64. So I did pick up Doom 64.
Is that right?
Because I remember I played a lot of Doom in my day, long time ago. In my middle school, high school days. I freaking love Doom. So yeah,
I played an old version of Doom on the PC way back. It was like early 2000s. Might have been like age wise, like thinking like, because I remember it must have been 2006 to 2007. Yeah, somewhere in that area. I know my dad had like an old version of Doom for PC. And I played a little bit of it. But take it as you will. You know, a 6 or 7 year old playing Doom. Don't worry about it, all right? Don't worry about it. I didn't have nightmares. But, Doom's
like when I see
a pretty good game.
When I see some parents allowing their kid to play Grand Theft Auto at like 9, I'm like, what are you doing? Your kid should probably not be playing this game. Yeah. Wait, you're the parent. Who am I? You know, I'm just saying.
Yeah, Doom 64 is a very, very old game. Like graphics wise, it's but,
it's not gonna win any graphics awards, you know. Right. So,
but I'm pretty sure the Doom that I was thinking of is like probably when was Doom 3 released?
I honestly have no idea. I just seen that and it was free. I was like, let me grab that real quick.
Because I do
that with a lot of the Epic games. I'll probably even get that Rumbleverse, even though I have no idea what it's about.
Free games, right? Free games.
There you
Sign
go.
into
I
Epic
want to
Games.
play that Unrailed, though. I do want to play Unrailed.
Yes.
That game looks like a lot of fun.
We should totally play that.
Absolutely.
Whenever we get to it, right? But Unrailed, yeah, is a very fun game. Very hectic, but...
I think a drunk night playing that would be interesting.
Oh my
from
gosh.
what I can hear of it.
It would be so entertaining. So entertaining.
Be a lot of fun to watch, I think.
Like, it gets very stressful. And it's... I think I related it to, like, Overcooked.
Yeah.
Where you got to scramble around. You got to tell, like, you know, you got to communicate really well. And it's communicate really well under pressure with limited time. It's it's a whole lot of trying to balance a lot of things. So
that's like keep talking and no one will explode. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that one's an interesting one too.
Now. I tend to like when I panic though, like when I'm under a lot of stress like that, I panic. And that's why I don't like shooters is I'll forget everything I'm doing and be like, you know. The only game I can say that I think I perform under like pressure would be 7 Days to Die. That is the one game I think I do play, if not on the hardest difficulty, than the one right up under it.
It's such a good game though. 7 Days to Die.
I love 7 Days to Die, and I've been wanting to play it here recently.
Yeah, I remember playing 7 Days to Die. I can't remember what alpha it was. 14 or 15 was when I
started with 15. Yep.
Yeah, somewhere around there. And I had a blast playing that game. I think I put 80 hours into it within 2 weeks.
Yeah, I did too. Like, Andy was like, oh, that's my moderator for you lovely podcast people. He's like, oh, Brav, you should try, he's English too, by the way. Oh, Brav, you should try, you should try 7 Days to Die. I think you'd love it. And I'm like, I don't like shooty zombie games, Andy. You should know me better than that. But then I want to say he gifted it to me.
Right.
And we played, and I was like, oh my God, this is so much fun. So. Yeah,
it was interesting trying to build a base to protect yourselves from a horde, basically.
Yeah, from the horde every 7 days, right?
Yeah, no, it was an interesting take. And I think the highest I got was like 50 or 60 something days, I think is the furthest. And then like I'd move on to a different game.
Yeah, I want to say I've made it to 100 days one time and 7 Days to Die. I've always wanted to do like the year challenge where you make 365 days. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That would be something. Because like I know it gets pretty tough after a certain amount of days. I know 50, 60 was like, eh.
Well, the way it works is you get assigned a game stage. And so basically if you die more, the hordes they're not really going to seem to be tougher. But as you gear up, you're going to become more OP. Therefore, your game stage is going to go up.
Right.
And that's what makes them more difficult. I think I would definitely have to play a mod pack for a year, though, because at some point, it's like irrelevant. You are so overpowered that the horde is silliness. You know, it's more like you're quenching your thirst of killing them and getting their loot versus, you know, being afraid of them and wondering if you're going to make it through the night.
Yeah. Speaking of mod packs,
yeah,
I've been playing more Factorio a little bit.
Yeah.
Hasn't been as much, but I've been playing around with a couple other mods and stuff. So what I enjoy playing was space exploration, which kind of ties in a lot of space stuff and adds a lot of content to the game, to Factorio. And there's another commonly done mod bundle. It's space exploration and Crastorio 2. Just another mod pack that it overhauls the whole game and changes a bunch of stuff. But I found when I added that, I was like, this is too overwhelming.
Right.
Like, too
is that the one
overwhelming.
you said would take like 1,000 hours to beat or something like that?
Yeah, these are all like up there, right? Like your average player would take like 1,000 hours to beat this. And then there's also Pianodons, which is another mod pack that makes the beginning of the game like nuts. You're handcrafting for like a while, and I don't think you get automation, like automated buildings, until like 2 to 3 hours into the game.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and Factorio is all about automating things. The factory
so it's a pretty
building,
big grind. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about automating. That's what you got to do, right? And to play 3 hours before you unlock automating, it's crazy. But Yeah, Factorio, it lubes my gears in my brain.
Oh boy. Yeah, it exercises your brain. There you go.
I love it. I love it so much. So what I'm going to be doing is I kind of learned a lot about, space exploration. I can't even speak. I need more coffee, apparently.
Words are always hard when you turn that camera on, I've come to find.
Nah, it's camera off too.
Well, for me, it's the camera.
Yeah, I've put like a little under 200 hours into that mod pack, and I think what I'm going to do is I want to stream it a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm going to be restarting the space exploration.
Really? Okay.
And streaming it.
All right.
It's not going to be like all the time. It's going to be maybe once or twice a week I come on and play a few hours, and then I don't touch it off stream.
Oh, so it's going to be an on-stream save.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured it, because I find when I play that game and I'm streaming, I get more done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If I don't stream, I don't get anything done. I got like another stream open. I got another thing open. I'm distracted 24/7, right? And distractions with that game are terrible.
That's funny because I feel like when I play Minecraft offline, I get more done versus if I'm streaming it, I feel like I don't get anything done. So that's funny. We're kind of opposite on that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I find like, Factorio, if I get distracted and then I go back to the game, I'm like, I don't know what I was just doing. And I got to restart my whole train of thought.
That's how I feel like, not necessarily forgot what we were doing, but when we were playing Sky Factory, once we did the applied energistics and got all the storage automated, I feel like, what do we do next? So I like our friend Sintog, who plays modded Minecraft with us. He was like, maybe next time we choose a mod pack that has a quest book in it. And I thought that was a pretty good idea. So
yeah, that'd be a good idea. I'd be down for, another modded Minecraft run.
Yeah, because I was like, I was always like that with Sky Factory. Like anytime I was playing it, I would get to, okay, I've got, my storage automated and it's all like in applied energistics or whatever the other one's called. But anyway, I'd be like, what do we do now? So
even though there's so much more you can do, it was like, this is kind of the limitation of my knowledge kind of thing.
Yeah, with stuff like that, I do need structure, and direction, I guess.
Right. But like, I'm thinking, on the ground would be good too, because then you can at least put your creative mind to work. Because when you're in the sky, in the void, you're kind of very limited with like how you can build and how you can design things. So at least, we choose a mod pack that has a quest book so we can kind of move forward. And something on the ground where you can design and have some good designs or something that look cool.
Yeah, that could be pretty cool.
So, yeah.
So I've been really digging deep back into my simulators lately. I've been playing a lot of trucking and a lot of flying. A lot of flying since I got the Turtle Beach Velocity 1. That thing is so much fun to play with. It really enhances the flight simulation experience, in my opinion.
It really does. Like, if you love flying simulators, like that thing is awesome. Like it's
it works for other games as well. I want to say it works for what's that one people say it's space trucking. I can't remember, but
oh boy, I wouldn't know.
Oh God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Starts with an E. If you're listening to this, you probably know what I'm talking about.
Elite Dangerous.
Elite Dangerous, yeah. I believe you can use it for Elite Dangerous as well.
I feel like for those kind of games, a joystick is a lot better.
Yeah.
I think if you're playing like a shooter style game, joystick is the way to go. Because I think Elite Dangerous is shooter. I could be so wrong. But like, I'm just trying to base, if you're looking for, to play flying games that are like shooter related, joystick's the way to go.
I don't know, because on there it does have the little shooter buttons, like the little white buttons on the Turtle Beach. I feel like that would be your pew-pew buttons.
Okay, maybe. Okay, you know what? I could be so wrong on all this.
Maybe. When it comes to anything shooty,
somebody
I'm like,
definitely knows better than we.
Right, 100%. Especially me. I don't really do shooty games unless, I think 7 Days to Die is. If it's PvE, I'll play it, but PvP, I'm just awful at it, and I feel like I'm just letting the team down, and that just adds more stress, so that's why I steer very, very clear of those games.
Well, anyhow, all I do know is that Turtle Beach is awesome for flying and
I
flight
love
simulator.
it. It is amazing. It's so much fun.
A lot better than I had a joystick. I have a joystick down there somewhere, and the throttle on it's terrible, like terrible. It goes halfway and it stops, like it's got an indent halfway, and then so you can go forward, but there's no resistance on it. So once you go past that little indent, it just kind of it drops down. And same with the backwards, it just kind of drops down. So you can't do like anywhere between 0 and 35%, or it just falls down to 0. And you can't do 65% to 100%. Otherwise,
that would be aggravating.
Yeah, it was so bad. I didn't like it. And obviously, if you kind of know about flying and stuff, you know that it makes the world of a difference having the throttle to stay at one position.
Oh yeah. Big difference.
I know it's the position you want it to stay at is not 100% or 0. All right.
Yeah,
you need to use the full range.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So having the throttle quadrant is a huge step up. So
yeah, it makes flying a lot easier. I'll say that. Like even I thought playing Flight Simulator with a Xbox controller was fun, and don't get me wrong, it was, but moving from that to the flight controls, it's like going from a 1970s Ford Pinto to like a Escalade or something like that. Like, it's really, really nice, really good.
Look at that. And the same goes for driving games or racing.
Yeah.
Upgrading to a wheel, holy moly, I can never play without it. I couldn't.
Yeah. I always told people, because my stream dating back to day one was more or less built around trucking games, and I always told people, if you have 100 hours in these trucking games and you're still enjoying it, go get a wheel, because or invest in a wheel, save up for a wheel, because that's only going to enhance your experience, and you're only going to enjoy it even that much more. And I think you can say that as well about Flight Simulator. If you're enjoying it, and you've got triple digit hours in it, invest in some kind of flight controls. There's several kinds out there that I think will enhance the experience and make you love the game even more.
Divide that number by 10. If you have 10 hours and you're still enjoying it, and you have the money for it, all right?
I would also preface that by saying, as far as a wheel goes, save up, get a nice wheel. Don't get a little
not
cheapo.
The most expensive one. If you got to save up, get a mid-range.
It doesn't have to be the most expensive wheel on the block.
$300 might sound like a lot of money to some people, right? And $300 that's a lot of money to spend
I bought my G27 on Black Friday, and I paid, I want to say, $125 for it. Really, really good deal at the time. This was 7 years ago.
You won't find that today's
I know, but I got my money's worth out of that wheel.
Oh yeah.
And I've had my G29 for about a year now. I've already got my money's worth out of this, but this thing's gonna last me another 5 years at least. You know?
Yeah, they last a long time.
Even though I really want the Thrustmaster. But
yeah.
At any rate,
the Logitechs are still great wheels.
They are. They're really good wheels. I don't really have a bad thing to say about the Logitech brands.
Yeah. However, I do find for the steering wheel is more worth than the yoke, because unless you don't play racing or those driving games. But at least with the wheel, I can play a racing game, or I could play the trucking game or whatever. You could play so many different games with the racing wheel.
Yeah, right. It covers a lot of bases.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing to have in your gamer's bag, I guess,
Yes, 100%. So.
But we had also started It Takes Two, and that was a lot of fun. Look forward to picking that back up again soon.
Oh, that game is fantastic. It did win Game of the Year last year, I believe.
Really? I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Won Game of the Year. And it's such a phenomenal, experience playing, co-op and everything. That side-by-side action and, the working together to get things done is really cool.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking I feel like we could do Portal that way as well, because I've played Portal multiplayer, and it's kind of the same way.
Yeah.
I think you would enjoy it a lot as well.
Oh, I probably would. Portal,
And
I've heard such good things about that game.
it's such a good game, and I like that kind of structure for a video game.
It's very
I
neat.
think it would be cool if they would come out with one. Say you can play with 2 to 4 people. That way you've got a quite bigger range. Like I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I find they don't make enough games like that. Like there was A Way Out that was that similar style that we played through.
Love that game.
And then I don't think
So
there
much
was
fun.
a whole lot between then. And then
I don't think
It
so
Takes
either.
Two came out. I don't think there was like many other games. I know there's Unravel, which is kind of similar.
When it comes to that format, the A Way Out and It Takes Two are the only ones that I personally know of.
Yeah, the only other one that was way back in the day that I think was the same kind of style was Little Big Planet. That was a PlayStation game. I want to say that was kind of the same thing.
It was co-op, but you could play it single player as well. Oh God, I haven't thought about that game in forever.
I know, but I feel like it was kind of along those lines where you gotta, you can play as another one and kind of go through that like the world and everything. But I think it was a bit different. But yeah, I don't see many side by side co-op games where you gotta work together and get through puzzles.
Yeah, that would be a good genre to see more action and more development in for sure. Because I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
got the
a lot of
mini
fun.
games in there too.
Yeah, good
So,
stuff.
A little side thing to do. So, but very good game. Very good.
I
This is my
agree.
second playthrough on it. So
Oh, I didn't know you had played it before.
I played it when it first came out. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't even.
Yeah,
I'm playing through it again, and I honestly, there's a lot of things I don't even remember. So.
Yeah, like I would play A Way Out again, like if Rhino or someone like that. I think playing a game like that with her would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Just because of her personality.
I
as
played through
well.
that one twice.
I feel like it would be, even though it's kind of roughly the same thing. I think depending on who you're playing with, it would be a new experience every time.
It really can be, and you can even come across new things that maybe you didn't before, because I'm pretty sure that's how it was for both of these games so far. It's almost like a new experience. And it's been a couple of years, in between playtimes, right? Like A Way Out, I played when it first came out,
Yeah.
and that was like 4 or 5 years ago, I think. So obviously a big gap there. There's a lot of things I don't remember. So playing through it was, there was a lot of things I didn't remember. The basis of the story, I kind of, I knew.
Yeah.
I kind of knew the basis of the story. I knew how it started, how it ended, a few things in between. That was it. But like, there was a lot of things, like actual playing the game. I was like, I didn't even know this was in there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's good stuff.
and It Takes Two is the same way. So,
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. I had watched more footage of that than I had A Way Out. So, I thought where we were was about done with the story, but apparently not.
no, that game is, I want to say it's at least 10 hours.
Wow.
And we
Yeah,
played,
I thought we were
3?
about done. I didn't realize that we hadn't. Would you say we're about halfway, or?
I don't even think we're halfway.
Oh my.
I
Okay.
don't think so. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it took me about 10 hours to get through it last time. And
Right.
we're at like
Okay.
3, right? So
Plus, you're playing with me, and it takes me several times, sometimes to get whatever it is I gotta do down.
I don't find it too bad. I think we're going along like fairly okay, right? So.
As long as we're enjoying it, right? That's the only thing. that
Oh
really
yeah,
matters.
I was laughing. You were getting so frustrated at one point, and
Oh
I'm
my
sitting here
God.
like laughing. And then finally, you were able to figure it out. You did it right, but then I screwed something up. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So
It's one of those games. It's fun, but you can get frustrated at times. with it.
yeah, It Takes Two. Like anybody can play it. If you haven't played it and you want to play it with somebody, play that game. It's such a cool
Yeah.
experience. You can be like 30, 40, 50 years old, whatever age, right? And you can still have a blast playing it.
I could see grandparents playing it with their grandkids.
Oh
basically.
yeah, 100%.
You know, I think that would be an amazing experience for both parties, and one I would love to watch. I would love to see a grandparent play that with their grandkid.
There probably already is somewhere. Who knows, right?
Yeah, probably.
The
right?
internet's quite abroad and jam-packed area,
It is,
if you will. There's literally everything on the internet. So.
Yeah, and Twitch, I feel like it has really exploded since the COVID time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, more people finding it and producing their own content in their own way. So
yes.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Twitch is really blown up.
Yes,
like I know more and more people that know about Twitch, where like 5 years ago, if I said, Twitch or something, people would be like, what are you having a Twitch or something, bro?
Yeah, like they're even talking about Twitch on the Burt Show, which is a podcast that I like to listen to, and I'm like, wow, look at them, they know what Twitch is. Whereas when I first started streaming back in 2015, I had to explain it. They're like, what's Twitch? I'm like, is that like YouTube? I'm like, kind of, sort of, not really, but it's like, think YouTube, but live, you know?
Let me tell you, there's still sometimes you got to explain it to some people, right?
Oh, still, yeah, and it's going to be like that for probably another 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, right.
No doubt.
Yeah, so, yeah, no, it's awesome to see, something that I grew up on that was really small niche, now kind of blown up and been part of, people's everyday lives.
Starting to work its way into everyday culture. Kind of like, I feel like everyone knows what YouTube is.
Yeah. Oh, everybody knows YouTube.
I would love to see Twitch get that same recognition.
Yeah. Because right now there's even sometimes still people like, if you told somebody you stream on the internet, they'd think you're a sex worker or something. No word of a lie. They'd be like, what the heck?
Yeah.
You stream on
what kind of kinky stuff are you into? Oh my gosh. I didn't know you're into that kind of stuff, my guy.
Some people, it's a lot better now, right? But
right.
There's
Yeah, you
of
tell
everything.
them, the thing that always makes, like, some of my friends that are of older generations, when I tell them, I play video games and people watch me, they're like, huh?
Well, it's
you play video games and people watch you. I'm like, yeah. 100%.
Yeah, and it's like, kind of think of sports, but it's almost like you're kind of think sports, but you
get to talk to the athlete.
you're actually just watching a single player play that sport, and they get to like interact with you. Think of it almost like that, but it's a video game. The game that you're seeing is them play a video game instead.
I can think of myself as an athlete now. Yes.
Oh my god. Hey, esports, right? If you're esport, isn't that considered like a sport now? Like an actual sport
like there's
now?
e-athletes. E-athlete, I think, is a thing now. Yeah, people get recruited for like Rocket League teams and Call of Duty teams and whatnot.
A lot of money involved in that, though. Holy moly.
Yeah, a lot of money in it.
Yeah. Even just the streaming, which is casual, right? There's a lot of money in there, which is wild, right?
Yep.
And that's how you kind of base the successfulness of something, is how much money is thrown around in it.
Yeah. Right? When it comes to sport, anyway, I don't necessarily look at that for my stream.
No. I'm just saying on a personal. I'm not saying anything on a personal level. Yeah. On a personal level, nothing.
I just didn't want it to get misconstrued.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I do see how it can be like that, but yeah, on like a general level, YouTube and some, they wouldn't be anywhere if they weren't, making money. Right?
Oh, 100%.
Like YouTube wouldn't be around.
I was watching a friend of mine stream before the podcast tonight, and one of his topics of conversation was Twitch and where it's at the moment. Is it on the uptake or the downtake, or is it kind of just, in neutral? And it was a really good conversation, and I think it's a really good conversation to have with fellow content creators.
Yeah. No. So what do you think? What was your thought on that one?
About
the Twitch? Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of stuck in neutral right now. I feel like Twitch is kind of stuck in the mud.
That's what I'm thinking right now too. Yeah, I was thinking the exact same things when you said that. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. And the majority of it's Jababoo, awesome farming simulator streamer. Make sure you check him out. He's really, really good dude, and a fellow Georgian as well, which is really rare. I feel like there aren't a lot of Georgians on the internet, but yeah, that was pretty much the majority. Like, felt like Twitch is kind of stuck in the mud right now, and I didn't know that. I guess they have came out with a new partner policy. I guess there's even like a tier above that now, where it's like if you're an ambassador, you can negotiate your percentages with like subscriptions and whatnot.
They've had that
Whereas,
for a while.
yeah, they've been doing that for a while, but apparently they're going back to 50-50 across the board with partnerships, and apparently that's taking some revenue away from streamers that had already negotiated their percentages a little bit higher. So I found that quite interesting, because that was news to me. I hadn't heard anything about that yet.
Yeah. So like, obviously, as some of these streamers on Twitch, it's their sole income, right? That's how the world is. You got these streamers that their sole income is streaming, coming to Twitch and streaming. And when they've originally had like maybe a 75-25 partner split on their income, and they drop it to 50-50, that's a big income difference.
They're losing
right?
a quarter of their income. Yep.
Yeah. So, and on top of that, like, you pay a lot of taxes on, streaming, because you're basically running it as a business. So a lot of the times you pay quite a bit of taxes, albeit you can write things off. If you have it set up as a business, you write things off. So your equipment and stuff that you buy, you can write off, so you pay a little bit less in taxes. Yeah. You can do that. Although, unless you have a good accountant, you might not know how to do that, right? So,
right.
Because some people's taxes can be scary.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, overwhelming, scary. But on the other hand, too, like, paying for an accountant costs a lot of money too. It does cost a lot of money. They charge a lot of money.
For some people, it's worth it.
It's worth it. Yeah.
It's totally worth it, because you don't have that headache, and they're gonna do the best they can for you, as long as it's not some sleazy tax person.
But yeah, so when Twitch takes away this money, like, that's a big loss, right?
That's a big hit, just to come out of nowhere. And I noticed too, they had set the payment down from 100 to 50. They've also started rolling that out in other countries, but it is yet to land upon the shores of U.S. or Canada. And I find that very
it hit a lot more like more known countries, I think.
Yeah, but I still find it funny, because usually I'm not complaining in the slightest. I just think it's really interesting. Usually when new features get rolled out, it's kind of like USA, Canada, play with this first. So I find it interesting that they're doing the opposite of that. But que sera, sera. It's not affecting me in any way.
They've got the reasoning somewhere, right? They have to have their reasoning as to why it happened, but no ideas. Another thing that's happened recently on Twitch, I don't know if you've seen this, but as an affiliate and partner on Twitch, you can now live stream on other platforms.
I heard about that, where there's no more exclusivity anymore.
There's no exclusivity between your regular affiliates and partners. So you can stream on YouTube, but not at the same time. You can't stream on both platforms at the same time.
That is so, like, that doesn't make much sense to me, because if you could multi-stream and just push everything down to all the places, I feel like that, I don't see how that would hurt Twitch, I don't know, maybe it would.
It's not that. Their idea, what they say, is it takes away from your focus on your community in one given area. That's their reasoning behind it. And I know.
I think the reason they're doing it is because they've started losing content creators, broadcasters, streamers, whatever you want to call us, to other platforms.
Yeah. But
I think that's what it's all about.
So yeah, they're saying you can now stream, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. You can stream to them, but yeah, you can't stream to those platforms at the same time. What you can do, though, is you can stream to Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok are the three main top ones right now, the popular ones. You can do those ones at the same time, because they're short. Excuse me, they're short format, right? Like they're kind of a smaller thing, whatever. And so you can do that. The only exception is people that have signed an exclusivity deal, like an actual contract that they've gone and signed.
And that
those
kinda
people, they
sucks for
can't.
them.
Yeah, they can't stream on, other platforms. So.
Yeah, so if, say you were a partnered streamer and you signed an exclusivity deal, and then Twitch comes along and says, okay, we're not going to let you stream anywhere else. Other people can, but you can't. Oh, and by the way, we're going to take 25% of your income. Thanks. Just thought you'd like to know, I'd be pretty pissed off. Would that make you say, F you, drop your partnership and go to YouTube Gaming or Facebook or whatever?
Well, they've signed a contract, so the revenue that they signed the contract at is set for that until the end of the contract. So yeah, at the end of the contract, it makes you wonder if they can't get the same kind of contract or better, then they might go to a different platform. Yeah. So Twitch has got to be careful with that too. They don't want to lose more people than they already have.
Like I feel like
go ahead.
I feel like Twitch kind of was like Netflix. For a really long time, it was the only one on the block. But now you're starting to see other broadcasting platforms pop up. So it's like, starting to get more options here in the pool.
Well, we see Mixer. We see Mixer, and that dropped off the earth pretty quick.
That was... I know of people that left Twitch for Mixer, and I was like, they're going to regret it. And I think they did because, they came back to Twitch with their tails between their legs. But I don't know. I don't watch any other streaming platforms, so I can't say I can't say what YouTube Gaming or Facebook Live is like. But I do feel like Twitch may be just a little apprehensive about, other platforms being on the block now versus 5-6 years ago, they were really the only one that was really pushing that was their sole, platform was live streaming.
I've seen Twitch chat and Twitch community is something you cannot get on any other platform.
I agree.
The way it's integrated, the chat, the way everything works, rating, hosting, blah 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 blah, everything, how it comes together, you cannot get that on any other platform. It's phenomenal experience. Where other platforms might come ahead on is, YouTube, you can do higher quality and all this other, neat things like basically the tech behind it is really good. And also I know on these other platforms you have maybe
less competition, question mark?
That's another thing is competition. It might be easier to get exposure on basically those platforms. And I know revenue might be higher on those platforms as well. But it's all a trade-off. It's what do you want to give up to have better? Yeah.
It kind of depends on what your goal was as streaming. Like mine was always build a community, a fun place for people to hang out and enjoy and play games together and whatnot.
Yeah, and Twitch is a great place to do that on.
I agree. I feel like it's the only, like I said, I can't really speak to YouTube Gaming. If you have a good experience over there, drop us an email, let us know. Yeah, it's interesting for sure.
Yeah. I don't know how the world of streaming is going to go from here. No idea. I don't know what Twitch, maybe they have plans up their sleeves on things. Who knows?
Yeah. Twitch is always, I find Twitch is always adding new features that no one necessarily cares about, whereas I wish they would just work on their freaking application, because I think their application sucks.
Yeah, there's a few things that can be worked out there. But yeah, there's been some features I've seen, they quietly introduce things too. They kind of just roll out things quietly, right? And it's like, I think even sometimes they don't even make an announcement about it. They'll send it to a streamer and say, hey, we've enabled this feature for you, or something like that.
Or it pops up in one of those things at like the top right hand corner of Twitch. Oh, hey, by the way, you can do this now. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Something recent that came out was Moments.
Like, there's like a customized. No, I didn't see that. But there's also like some customizable intro or something like that.
maybe I don't even think I've seen that, right? So like it's hard to keep on top of all this.
It really is, yeah.
But the moments thing is actually really neat, but like I find it like it's kind of strange how it works. Basically, it's you can press a button on your dashboard to make it a moment, and anybody that was in the stream during that time gets a special badge or something.
Really?
And the more
that is
times
cool.
that they're there for that, then the better badge they get or something. I'm pretty sure that
Okay.
that's what it is.
Yeah,
And
I
it
had
makes
no
it a
idea that
clip.
was a
So when you
thing.
hit make a moment,
Right.
it's also a clip.
Huh.
But you
Looks
get
like
a
I'm
badge
gonna-
to say, hey, I was there for that moment.
Looks like I've got a new button to add to the Stream Deck.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, well, I can't just have, somebody else. I guess a moderator can do it. That's the only other way. But like, I find that too much to have to go in and make sure I press a button for a moment. Like, I'm already bad with
Right,
clips.
yeah.
I can't even do clips on my own.
Oh, I know, same.
Right? So.
And the clip button, it isn't the best. Like, you can put a clip button on your Stream Deck, but it's not the best way in the world.
I know.
A lot of times I
like,
find that it clips everything after the magic moment, or the funny moment or whatnot.
Yeah, like if I was able to like edit I want to edit my clips so it only captures what I want it to capture. And like when you hit a clip button, it just does 30 seconds. The last
Right.
30 seconds or whatever. That's default. But when I make a clip in channels, I go in, I edit it down. So if the moment was only 30 or 15 seconds, I only capture that 15 seconds and then publish
Yeah.
it. Or you can go up to a minute long. So the moment thing, I don't know, another button for me to have on there. And
To
I don't
forget
know.
about, let's be
Yeah.
honest here.
yeah, that's the thing, right? So, but I guess if you have a moderator that's able to sit in your channel and kind of register that, hey, I want to make that a moment, then it might work out. But
Yeah, there you go.
sometimes it's
What
hard to
is-
have a
what is-
moderator all the time.
Yeah, like I have, I think, apart from the bot, my channel bot, I think the only other people that have swords are Tendrick and Andy. And I've always been like, the less, the better. Like, because some streams you go into and everybody's got a sword,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and I feel like some people put the sword up on a pedestal, like, oh my god, it would be so awesome to have a sword. I wish I could have a sword. Wish I could be a moderator. And it's like, don't wish that upon yourself, because a really good moderator hates it. Not necessarily hates it, but they actually, put in the time in helping the broadcaster with timeouts and commands and.
I've got 2 moderators. And Sintog's been moderator forever in my channel. Sintog's been around in my channel forever. So
Yep,
he's
shout out
had
to
a
Sintog.
moderator like way back.
Miss you.
And like, he doesn't even have to do anything, right?
Right.
I don't have trolls coming to my channel all the time. Like I rarely have people get timed out or banned in my stream. Like it's very rare.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like it's pretty laid back and stuff. But I have 2 moderators. My other one's Trucker DJ, and those are
Shout
my
out
2.
to Trucker. Yeah.
I don't feel like I need more. I probably won't for a long time.
I always heard a good basis is like 1 moderator for every 10 viewers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas, like I said, sometimes you go into a stream and everybody's got a sword, and I'm like, nah.
But-
I'm all about the you do you boo lifestyle, but I wouldn't like that.
Trucker DJ helps out a lot on the back end. He's set up a lot of things in my Discord channel. He's, gone and edited a lot of things in my bot. He's done a lot of things, right? So he's always there helping out. Sintog's been around to do things, give me suggestions, whatever, for years now.
Yeah.
So, those are my 2 guys that, they're my sidekicks in streaming. So,
Yeah. Andy has a sword, and he's had a sword in my channel for pretty much since the dawn of Bravo Chick. But he, not only is he a really good moderator, but he's what I call my community manager. He helps with ideas, looking over the Discord, taking care of the Discord, and I can always go to him, whether it be a problem with the stream or in real life, and it's just someone. Andy's a really, really good friend, and he's kind of like my right hand, you know?
Yeah, a good moderator will, let you know of the things that need to be fixed in your channel.
Yeah,
They'll
100%.
they're the people that you want to say, hey, your mic's a little low. Hey, this doesn't look right on your stream.
Can you turn the music down a little bit?
Hey, you're missing this. Those are the people you want as a moderator in your channel. They're the ones that are there to help it be more successful.
I agree.
That's who you want as a moderator.
And I feel like a good moderator can be kind of hard to come by. So maybe, I don't know, like, I just feel like I got really, really lucky with Andy because he is such a big help. And I'm like, man, if I didn't have Andy, I would be up the creek with no paddle, you know?
Trucker
Whereas
DJ goes out of his way to find things that are broken on my stream.
Yes, he will try to break things on your stream. Confirm.
So then I gotta go, okay, well, now I gotta come up with a fix for that. And
Me fix that, yep.
I forget. And then the next stream comes by and he does it again. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's there to remind me this is still broken.
Yeah, like not working. Not working.
Yeah, I'm so bad. I'm so bad. And he'll continue coming by and just tormenting me basically until I fix it. So,
but yeah, a good moderator will never let you down, and they'll never let your broadcasts down because they're always there for you. It's really, really good thing to have. Highly recommend it. But get your own Andy. You can't have my Andy.
Get your own. Find your own, all right? But choose wisely.
Get your own, find your own. Yeah, choose wisely.
Wow, we really hit the B out of the park on that one, right? Broadcasting.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked a lot there. But I don't think I have anything more to say. I want to move into just more bullshit right now. You know what I'm saying?
Go. What you been up to lately?
Mostly, I don't even know. I've been because I've been working, which is like, I don't have anything to say about it, right? But outside of that, I've been watching Marvel because Spider-Man came out. I'm like, I want to watch Spider-Man now.
Right.
So I played the game and I'm like, I want to watch Spider-Man, which I know you've watched some Spider-Man. But I've gone back and watched all the way from Tobey Maguire. So Spider-Man in 2002. And I've watched every single one. Spider-Man 1, 2, 3. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. I watched the animated one, Into the Spider-Verse. I've watched the 3 that are in the MCU new releases with Tom Holland. Yeah. So, and that was that trilogy as well.
So who, personal question here, who's your favorite Spider-Man?
This one's hard. This one is hard because, okay, I will say The Amazing Spider-Man was my least favorite out of them all.
Agreed.
That was my least favorite.
And I'm not knocking, is that Andrew Garfield?
Yeah.
I think he's a brilliant actor. I just don't think the writing was as good for the Tobey Maguire set or the Tom Holland
And I'm not saying they were bad movies, the 1 and 2.
Yeah,
they were actually pretty good.
They're good, but I don't feel like they're on the same level as...
No, like we're comparing to the original Spider-Man and the new one with Tom Holland, right? So,
yeah.
But between those two, like oh my God, it's really tough choice because I kind of put it this way. The original Spider-Man was interesting. There were some funny moments in there, maybe. But it was very neat to watch and very interesting. When I got to the third sequence of Spider-Man, like the Tom Holland ones, they were funny. Another thing that was really neat was just because now it's part of the Avengers, is, you got everybody else in there. You got Tony Stark, you've got Doctor Strange, you've got all these people in there now. It's very neat now. And so I want to say the Tom Holland ones are probably the best ones. Yeah. I want to say.
I would agree with that.
But it's such a close call between the Tobey Maguire series and the Tom Holland.
I think you'd have to split hairs between Tobey and Tom. Yeah, I don't know. I love both of them. Unlike, as compared to Batman, my favorite Batman will always be, I can't even think of his name now. But the Dark Knight series is his name.
I can't help you with that. I'm sorry.
But
anyhow,
I'm gonna look it up.
What I do suggest is if you're gonna watch through the Spider-Mans, watch through them all from the beginning, because when you hit that final, the most recent one that's been released, it's gonna make it even more special. And I'm not gonna spoil
make it
why,
even sweeter. Yeah,
but it is really neat to you watch through them all and you get to that last one. I was blown away. I was like, wow. So
Kristen Bale.
You find it there?
Christian Bale. Yeah, Christian Bale is my favorite Batman.
There you go.
He will always be Batman.
I vaguely remember watching some Batman way back in the day, and I haven't got around. I'll eventually get to it. All right, I'm starting to. For all these times, people are like, "You haven't watched that? You haven't watched this?" And I'm gonna get around to it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna watch all these goddamn movies that people are making fun of me for not watching and saying,
like
lived your childhood under a rock. I'm like, no, I was just outside playing with my trucks, but
right. Yeah, like Robert Pattinson, the current Batman, he's all right. He's better than Ben Affleck in my opinion. And the George Clooney, but I still, for me, it's got to be Christian Bale. I think he was by far, hands and away, the best Batman.
There you go.
And I think I'm gonna give a slight edge to Tom Holland on Spider-Man. I just really, I really enjoyed him as Spider-Man. I thought he did an awesome job.
I think it was just more funny. The voice lines are funny.
They were really, really good. Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, and to be fair, that could come all down the writing, right? That can just come right down the writing.
100%.
I'm not saying that Tom Holland was a way better actor. He was more funny and stuff. Tobey Maguire, he could have played that role as, that Tom Holland did in that series. And it would have been the same, could have been better, worse. We don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes, I'd still give the slight nudge to Tom. But I would say that Tobey Maguire is my second. And I'm not knocking Andrew Garfield. I just think the writing kind of let those two films down.
Right. I want to watch through the whole Marvel's universe, though, the cinematic universe.
I've been thinking, because I was very late to the Marvel Cinematic Universe train. And I've watched all the major ones, Captain America and Iron Man, Thor,
Hulk.
And all those. But I would love to watch it from beginning to wherever they're at now.
So that's what I'm doing right now.
Just to really get the whole picture of this universe. I think it'd be a lot of fun, but it's gonna take a long, long time. Yeah,
I'm halfway through the first Avenger, but once I finish that, I need to go back and I need to finish Ozark, guys. I need to finish Ozark.
Oh yeah, Ozark is so good.
Yeah, I made it to season 3.
Good.
I'm at the beginning of season 3, and I need to go through and just do the last 2 seasons. It's not that hard, right? Come on, I can do this shit.
It isn't.
It's really not.
The last 2 seasons are the best.
Yeah, I know.
They're so freaking good.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, once I finish the first Avenger, I'm gonna go do an Ozark, and I'll update you guys on the podcast in 2 weeks from now on that stuff. But yeah, no.
You've almost concluded with Percy Jackson as well, there, yeah?
That's another one that I've been slacking on a little bit. I have my spurts of it. I got my reading spurts, right? I'll spend a lot of time in a day reading. Or a couple days, reading, and then it gets put away for a while. But I'm halfway through the 5th book in the Percy Jackson series.
All right.
Well, that's the first series. All right, Rick. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Is it Riordan or Riordan or
Riordan? I have no idea.
I've never really bothered to. Yeah, the author of the books. I've never really bothered to figure out how to pronounce his name. I just say Rick. But
good old Rick.
He's got 5 series of books, and I'm almost done the first series, which is the shortest. Kind of. Each book is shorter. So the novels are about 300 pages on average for all 5 books each. And the next series is 500 pages on average.
Okay.
But some, 2 of the series have 5 books and 2 of the series have 3 books for the last 4.
All right.
So
Yeah.
like it's however you want to figure out the average. But anyhow, a lot of books to read. But
Yeah.
I am so invested in the Greek mythology stuff, and it's so good.
I love anything that has any kind of mythology to it. I find it really incredibly interesting because the author went that next step to writing their book, and that was one thing I always respected out of J.K. is there's so many different mythology references in Harry Potter that I really enjoy.
One day I'll get around to reading those books. Oh my gosh.
Harry, I will probably reread. I usually reread them on New Year's. I didn't this year, but I planned picking up Sorcerer's Stone come January 1st or 2nd and diving back into them.
I'm going to stare into the souls of the people that are just screaming at me saying books are so boring and I hate reading them.
They're not. They're really not. You just have to find the book for you that gives you that love for reading.
No. They're amazing. They're amazing.
Really good.
You just got to pick the book that's right for you.
That's it.
Stop thinking back to those school days of when the teacher said you got to read this book. You got to read it in 3 weeks.
No one is going to find a love for books reading War and Peace, okay? You got to go find something that speaks to you that you're going to enjoy.
Exactly. And some people like audiobooks. If that's your way of going through a book, so be it, right? I can't do audiobooks. I'll never be able. I will never be able to grasp the story properly.
Yeah.
I feel like it's something to do with. I will always say that I feel like I'm ADHD or something. All I know is I do bad with hearing. My problem is I can easily get distracted with something. If there's 2 people trying to talk to me, I hear nothing.
You're right. Mm-hmm.
If I'm in a room, there's background talking, and someone's trying to talk to me, I hear nothing.
I can't carry on 2 conversations at the same time. And that can be a little overwhelming, especially if we're playing something multiplayer and there's like 5 or 6 people in the Discord, and I hear Bravo Chick like 3 different times, and I'm like, I'm
terrible. That's why I've always hated big groups.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly. Actually, when I hang out with somebody, I much prefer a one-on-one.
Yeah.
If I'm having like a maybe a drinking time or like a small party or something, 4, 5, 6 people, whatever. If like I don't have to worry about actually talking.
I find anything more than 5 and it's just noise. You're really not gonna.
Yeah.
Get anywhere.
Yep. But yeah, no, I can't do audiobooks. There's something about it. I need a quiet place. I need to look at the words. Mm-hmm. And even then, I got to go back. I read a page sometimes. I'm like, I don't even know what I just read.
You didn't soak it in. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know what I just read. So
that happens
start
to
the
me
page
as
over.
well.
Like,
yeah.
And for that reason,
I'm like, wait, what did I just read?
Yeah. Like I'm not a slow reader. I can read quick. But sometimes I don't know what it is. My brain's just starts thinking about something else while I'm reading.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So my eyes will be following the words, but I'm thinking about something completely different because maybe something in the book caught my attention. And I'm like,
it
that's pretty neat.
Something
and I'm
else
like,
relatable. Yeah.
I started thinking while still reading, and I'm like, wait a minute. I don't even know what just happened. But yeah, no, books are interesting. They get my mind thinking about really cool things, and I'm excited to see the movie, the TV
more
series.
Brain food
for Percy Jackson.
More brain food is what books are basically. As far as I go, I have really been focusing on streaming more and more consistently, and I feel like I've gotten better at those 2 aspects, and I'm having a blast while doing it.
That's always good.
Yeah, and. The aforementioned, I did watch the Tom Holland Spider-Man films for the first time, and along with those, I watched Avengers: Infinite Warfare and Endgame for the first time.
I haven't watched
just
those.
Because those kind of play in with the Tom Holland Spider-Man, and
So how did you
really,
like those?
The Avenger movies?
Yeah,
or?
the Avenger ones. Like it's not Spider-Man. It's not something specific. It's just kind of all overall.
It is so, like, I don't consider myself a writer or an author, but I appreciate really good writing, and the script writing for the Avenger movies are breathtaking. It is so damn good.
I find
so
it like
good.
way better when they actually follow the comics a little bit better, because those comics were masterpieces. You know, Marvel comics, they were huge way back in the day. I've never read the comics, but man, I've heard so much about them, right? And you know, they were a big hit for a reason. And that was actually one of the differences in Spider-Man. The first, you know, take on Spider-Man was a little bit off comic.
Yeah, I don't think those really followed anything when it pertained to the comic books.
So the main thing is his web shooters. Tobey Maguire shot out of his wrist. Tom Holland had web shooters that were like
I think Andrew Garfield did as well.
Yes. And the comics were like that. They were web shooters that he designed.
Okay.
Not
I had no
you know,
idea.
naturally.
Not like this thing you just get from a spider bite.
Yeah, exactly.
Could you imagine getting bit by a spider and then you wake up in the morning, you know, and be like, whoa, what did I just do? Shot something out of my hand.
What they did get from the spider is their spider sense, the ability to, like, you know, run on walls and hang from the ceilings and stuff.
Hold a, like, body compared to weight and, you know, lift ridiculous
the muscles
amount.
and everything. That's what they come with. The web shooters were something they designed in the comics.
They designed, to help them with their spidey sense.
Yeah.
With their tingle.
Exactly.
Anything
you've been reading?
I'm still reading Educated. I really haven't read a lot of it lately, but I want to finish it because I want to read Tuck Everlasting, which I think is a bit of a young adult book, but I'm not going to read a book just because it's labeled YA. Like
I love young adult books.
Yeah, some of my favorites are, by John Green, and he's a young adult author.
Percy
like
Jackson.
Our Stars and whatnot. Yeah, Percy
that's
Jackson.
Aimed at like
J.K. Rowling.
That's aimed at high schoolers, right? Like, heck, even younger than that, like 12, 13 years old. That's what that's aimed at, right? Rick actually wrote those books, the original series he wrote for his son, who I think was pretty young at the time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And the what do you call it? The main guy, the main
protagonist.
Yeah,
character.
Yeah, protagonist or whatever, main character is 12 years old in the first book, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's just a whole bunch of like people around that age. That's what the book's placed on. So, but it's very cool. Some funny things that are, in the book. I'm like, oh, that's pretty funny, right?
And I think reading young adult novels keeps you young as well. Like
that's fair.
I just really, if I like it, I don't care what genre it's in. If I like it, I read it, and I enjoy it. And they come out with something else, I'm going to read something, in their next work.
Yeah, I'm bad at looking at things that are outside of my normal range.
Purview, yeah.
Like, with Bookwise, I grasped Stephen King is some books that I love, and I will read many of his books. These Percy Jackson series, great books. I'll read Harry Potter. I'll read the Game of Thrones books. But other than that, like, there's not many other books that I'll go out and read. Like The Sanatorium, without you telling me to read that book, I would have never gone out and been like, I'm going to read that book.
Right.
Never.
I probably never would have read it either if we hadn't, like, said, okay, we need to do this. But since we've shifted gears from books to broadcasting, I still find myself looking for, new books to read, because that is something I want to keep up with, I guess.
Yeah, I'm going to be reading the sequel to The Sanatorium, which is The Retreat, right? I think that's what
I'm
it's
looking
called.
forward to reading that. Yeah.
Eventually, I'll get around to reading that, and it'll be interesting. But so books are still in our hearts, right? We will still read, and we'll still talk about what we're reading.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like we said, we've taken the focus away from that in the podcast. So
even though it may not seem like it in this episode.
This episode we went right into it.
Yeah, we're shifting more to the games broadcast and BS.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I guess it's time for the quotes. You got a quote for this episode?
Yeah, so my quote this week is, it goes as this: you're never going to be 100% ready, all right? You just got to say screw it and go for it.
Yep.
I'm sure you've heard of something like this before, all right? Just do it. Goes along the same lines, and stuff like that. But yeah, you're never gonna be ready, right? for anything in life. You're never 100% ready. You might
You're
say,
never-
I'm ready.
You're never going to be 100% prepared for anything. Not even if you're cramming for a test tomorrow. You know,
Right.
you're never going to be like, oh, I'm going to ace this, get every single question correct, you know. At least I did anyway.
So
But yeah.
if there's something that you need to do or you want to do or whatever it may be, like just go out and do it.
Just do it. Don't.
I know I fall on the thing like, oh, I'm not ready. I personally, trust me, I struggle with it. But I'm here to share something that I want to work on myself, and maybe you guys can join me on this and try to do it as well. Just do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Come along for the ride and
I kind of
enjoy
came
the
across
experience.
that on that TikTok page, Creating Wonders. Posts so many good things on there. He doesn't post quotes. He just goes through and he says a lot of things, like inspiring things or uplifting or motivational stuff. So I kind of just quoting things that he's said in his TikTok. So
yeah, that's interesting. And I think it speaks truth to power. If you wait forever, you're never going to do it.
Yeah.
So just do it, you know? And don't be overcritical of yourself, you know? Everyone was a newbie at everything at some point in time until you started. You're never going to start till you start.
That's right. 100%.
So my quote kind of... watching Spider-Man reminded me of this quote, and I'm pulling a biggie from someone that's been quoted a lot in history, and that's Nathaniel Hawthorne. No man for any considerable period can wear one face to himself and another to the multitude without finally getting bewildered as to which may be the true. And I was like, it's pretty deep, right? And I feel like
I see where you kind of relate that to Spider-Man. I do see.
Yeah, because, you know, it's Peter... You got Spider-Man, then you got Peter Parker, and it's like you got Batman, then you got Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Versus like someone like Iron Man, he wanted the credit. He was like, "Yeah, my name is Tony Stark, and I'm Iron Man."
Yep.
So I feel like he was really true to himself.
Right.
I'm not saying that Spider-Man and Batman are hypocrites necessarily, but I guess I feel like I say a lot that Bravo Chick and Wendy are two different people, but I'm not playing a superhero, or I'm not being someone I'm not when I'm streaming. It's just when I'm streaming, I'm more outgoing, and that's the main difference. I feel like if there was a party tomorrow and like all my regular viewers attended, they would be like, "That's Bravo? She's really quiet, isn't she? She's not as outgoing as she is when she's streaming." And I feel like that's the main difference when I say that we're kind of two bookends or two sides of the same book type
I can
deal.
relate to that.
Yeah.
My whole take on that too is like when I sit in my chair and I'm playing games and it's I got the stream running or whatever, but when I'm playing games or whatever, I'm most myself. Mm-hmm. That's what I've grown up doing. It's where I feel the most comfortable to be myself. So when you see me in person or something, I'm more just relaxed. I may just, not speak a whole lot. I'm more just a listener. I'm just there to chill or, like I'm very quiet.
Yeah, I think we're both very introverted.
Right. Oh, yeah, 100%.
But gaming and broadcasting kind of helps us out of our shell. And
yeah,
streaming has given me a lot of self-confidence as well. Like, I used to be horrified of public speaking, and then, I spoke at my grandmother's funeral. Like, I never would have been able to do that without I've been learning a skill known as, like, being more self-confident, just streaming versus before I never, ever would have been able to do that.
Right. I remember in school, I'd go up to the front or whatever, right?
Hated it. Absolutely hated it.
Whatever. What was it? Like, what do they call it? I can't remember what they call it. Speeches. Speeches. Duh. I got like cue cards or whatever, and
or presentation or whatever.
Yeah, those for like a project or something, and Oh my God, I can just feel I'm like shaky. I can't
Mom's
think.
sweaty, mom's spaghetti. Yeah.
Oh, 100%, right? Like, sweaty, and it's like I can't think properly, and like any of that stuff, right? And it was a nightmare to go up and do that stuff. But now I don't have as many problems. Could be from streaming that helped, but I think also, working helped a lot.
Yeah.
I was around a lot of people when I was working because I worked in a restaurant. It was McDonald's was my first job, and there was always many people working, so I was always surrounded by people, and I wasn't quiet. I know there's people that work there that's quiet, right?
Yeah.
But like I wasn't quiet. I don't know what it was. Like school, quiet.
Right.
Except if I was with my small group of friends.
You're a group of yeah.
Yeah, but like at work, I was more outgoing. I would talk to people. I would talk to new people or whatever, and that's how I ended up becoming a manager really quick. Is because I was always talking to people, and I felt like I knew what to say. I was good at my job, so because some people they didn't care.
Right.
Right. So, which fair enough. That's to be fair.
Some
You're
people just
working
want to
at,
go in and get their food, whereas I'm always the type where I'll talk to the person,
yeah.
in line in back of me or whatever, and whatnot.
But to this day, I'm still an introvert. I do explain myself as being like somebody that takes a while to get used to somebody.
Yeah.
Before I actually talk to them. I don't know what it is. Like I
When
can
it
think of
comes
a
to
thousand things. Like I'm going to say this or blah, blah, blah. Like 1,000 scenarios in my head.
Right.
But when it actually comes to the situation, I'm very reserved.
Yeah.
So
And
it's like I kind of learn what the other
That's natural
person's like.
instincts to being an introvert. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of sit there and I'm very observant. I kind of learn the other person's style of how they are before I bring out, okay, this is kind of how I should act with this person.
Right.
I have many people I know that I act differently when I'm with them.
Right.
I don't, it's not like I'm a whole different person. I'm not. I just say things in a different way,
Right. I see where you're coming from.
If somebody doesn't like me, or I don't like somebody, they know, right? Like that's just how it is. I'm not a different person in that regard. It's just I change it a little bit for each person.
You're either more reserved or more relaxed depending on the person, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, I feel like being the quiet one in the room and being more observant and more of a listener, those are just attributes to being an introvert. And I think I think if you're an introvert, you're never going to shake that shell. You're never going to be this flamboyant, bigger than life personality that comes into the room and just, turns everything on. Like, I feel like that's what the extrovert does. That's like my brother. He is an extrovert. When he walks into the room, he's the party. He is the life of the party, Whereas I walk into a room and I'm having a good time. I could care less, whatever. And enjoy it just as much.
I've got different moods. Like sometimes I can walk in a room and be like, all right, I'm the party, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I can be like that. But yeah, for the most part, I'm more, quiet.
Yeah.
So
I'm definitely just the quiet person, chill in the room. The only time I'd say that I really can raise a crowd is if it's like a karaoke bar or we're having a karaoke night and we get that going. It's always like, oh, we got to get Wendy back up there. No, because people like to hear me sing. I don't know why. But yeah, and that's all. That's kind of my one exception to being an introvert. Is like if the karaoke's coming out, where's the spotlight? Hand me a microphone.
that's fair. And there's nothing wrong with either side. There's nothing wrong with either side, right? We're all unique. We're all people. And
but I think going back to that quote, never feel like you have to be someone you're not to please other people. You should you should always be true to yourself, you know? Don't put on airs and pretend to be something you're not just because you think people will like that person you've, you know, conjured in your brain better.
Don't be a people pleaser.
Don't be a people pleaser. 100%, because at the end of the day, you may please all the people, but you're going to go to bed miserable. And
that's what I was trying to say, like, you know, how I might say things like differently to some people. It's not a people pleaser thing in a way.
Yeah.
It's more, I kind of observe, is this going to work out before I even show myself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And if I think, okay, you know what, I like this person and we're going to get together, like get along well, then I'm going to do what I can.
It's worth the time and energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very much a quality over quantity when it comes to friends and whatnot. Like, you know, my IRL group of friends is really small, and I'd say, for the most part, my little group of friends on the internet is small as well. So.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Small groups.
Yep.
I feel like
run around in your little small group, and
it's the way that's good, you know. Works for me.
I don't like being in large crowds in real life, and I'm not too crazy about it online either. 10 years ago, I loved it. I would go to sold out venues and ball games all the time.
That kind of stuff is like whatever. For me, it's the small group thing is more a balance. I feel like I feel bad if I can't get around to some people. Like, I'm already bad as it is. Like, if I have one friend, I can't even keep up. I will not. Like, my life will take over, and I probably...
Same.
I'll go quiet and not say anything for a while. That's just how I am. And then I think on it, I'm like, oh...
I struggle to keep up with everyone as well. It's like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like I haven't talked to this person in weeks or months even, and I kind of start getting down on myself. But then you get caught up in your own head and caught up in your own world. But when you message them, they're like, oh my God, I've been meaning to message you too, because they get caught up in their own worlds too, you know. That's life. Yeah.
I some days I just want to be on my own.
Yes.
It's not, I
love my me time.
It's not that I'm mad at anybody. It's not that I'm in a shitty mood. It's not anything. It's just, I'm content with just having a day, and I don't even want to talk to anybody.
Yeah, I am the only thing I'm needy for is my me time. I gotta have my me time.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that one. So,
and that may go with being a part of the introvert, because I know my brother. He's like, I can't stand being alone. I gotta have people to talk to. I'm like, yeah. I could be alone and it wouldn't bother me one bit. Anyway, shall we move on to a line of truth? You got a line of truth?
All right. So listen here.
You want me to go first, or you want to go first? Or
I think I've gone first the last couple times. Why don't you go first?
You want me to go first? Okay. I don't even know if you can see it, but I have a scar on my neck. Now, did that scar come from a doctor, or did that scar come from a curling iron?
Did it come from a doctor or a curling iron?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is very interesting. Whereabouts is it?
It's on my neck.
On your neck?
Yep.
So if it came from a doctor, this would have to be either a collarbone. Is it in that area?
Yeah, it's like right here.
So collarbone.
You probably can't even see it on stream, but yeah, it's right here. I've had it since I was 3.
I'm gonna have to go with. No, I know you've said that you've been in hospitals a lot.
Yeah.
I know you've said this, especially when you were younger, right?
Yeah. More or less spent my first year of my life in the hospital.
I'm gonna have to go with curling iron.
You would be correct.
I had to go against the grain. I'm like, no.
Yeah, you're right. My mom was getting ready to have my pictures made when I was about 3, and I still remember it. So it was literally burned into my memory. But she was curling my hair for the picture, and she just got me a little bit with the curling iron. And to this day, she's like, I burnt my baby. I'm like, it's fine. I'm a lot older now. I forgive you. You know.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Yeah. I had to think. I'm like, you know, I know you talked about going to hospitals a lot. I'm like, this could play with it, but then I'm thinking, I'm like, Nah, you're going along with it too well. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
like sometimes a lot of times, especially in movies and reading, the most obvious answer is not the correct answer. There's all red herrings are everywhere when it comes to that kind of stuff. So let's hear your line of truth, big
All
boy.
right. All right, I'm going to tell you two things, all right? Mm-hmm. I've got no idea how to swim. Or,
Okay.
yeah, no idea how to swim. Or, I sleep with a stuffed animal still.
That's tough. And I don't see nothing wrong with sleeping with a stuffed animal. I still have a bear from when I was 2. And he good old Big Bear, he makes it to my bed every once in a while.
I have a stuffed animal on the top of the shelf, actually, that's from my birth year. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
It's got like the tag that has my birth year on it. I think it's pretty
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, like a long time ago when you're like a young
Oh yeah, like
person.
what? 16 years ago?
22, damn it.
Okay. Okay.
Holy
I have to
moly.
see some proof of that one day,
Oh, yeah.
Mr.
Yeah,
22-year-old.
yeah.
That is tough because you have told me in the past that you live near the Great Lakes, and I kind of know where you live now, and both are near water. I would find it hard to believe that you wouldn't know how to swim.
I went on boats before. Because boats are great. They float.
Yeah, but to that regard, I've never heard you talk about swimming. But you did say one time you didn't go swimming because it was too cold. I'm gonna say you still sleep with a stuffed animal.
Yeah. I don't sleep like hugging it, right? But it's in my bed. All right? It's in my bed. It's a dog.
Nothing wrong with-
It's like
I don't go to sleep squeezing Big Bear like
Yeah.
I don't spoon with my teddy bear or anything. But
I've never
sometimes
held
he's
on to
there.
it. I've never slept on it. It's just one of those things that like you put on your bed to like as like an accent, like one of
Yeah.
those like a throw pillow. Instead of a
Right.
throw pillow, it's a stuffed
It's
dog.
a dog.
So, but yeah, I was.
So I was right?
Yeah,
Okay, so you do know how to swim.
I know how to swim. I've known how to swim for a
Okay.
long time. And I still remember one time for like a school thing where we had to tread water in one spot for 5 minutes with all our clothes on. And it was
Oh
the
my
worst
gosh.
thing of my life. But, I
I would
survived.
rather. That would suck.
I survived, I was still good. But yeah,
Yeah.
treading in one spot is a lot harder than actually swimming, I think. But I could be wrong.
Treading is easy, but treading with your clothes on would suck.
Yeah, we had to have full jeans, a long sleeve shirt, everything, right?
You get to take your shoes off at least, because shoes are awful in
Yeah,
water.
but socks on.
Ugh. That's weird.
Oh, yeah.
Who likes wet socks?
Well, it was like a test, right? It was like an exam thing to make sure that, just in case something happened on our school trip.
you could tread.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I know how to swim. We've had a swimming pool at our old place and the place before that. So a lot of swimming I did. Jumping
Yep,
off boats
same.
in the lake and stuff. Swimming's a lot of fun. So
Grandfather lived on a lake, and we had a pool growing up. I don't remember not knowing how to swim. Like,
Yeah.
it's been that long.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know what age I was exactly, but I was pretty young because I don't ever remember getting into a body of water and be like, I don't know how to do this.
yeah, I'm the same way.
I don't even recall like wearing water wings or
I did.
or like anything like. I'm sure I did too, but I don't recall it.
Right. Yeah, now that you think about it, I know I did because there's pictures and videos of me, but I don't actually remember it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I see what you mean. But,
Yeah, that's like my nephew, when he was about 3, we were at a party swimming, and he had his water wings on that whole day. And he was doing really good. We were all oh, you're doing so good. And he was like, can I take my armies off? So we're like, as long as someone's in the pool with you can take them off. Well, we were, everybody was getting out of the pool. Everyone's getting ready to get, pretty much everyone had done changed at this point. It was just my nephew sitting by the pool, with the rest of us out there with his swimming trunks on. And my brother had just bought like a $300 pair of like ostrich skin cowboy boots. And Austin, he jumped right in that water without his water wings. And my brother's like, I seen him go down I seen him come up one time, and then I seen him go back down, and my brother was like, yeah, gone. Jeans,
Oh my gosh.
shirt,
Yeah.
$300 cowboy boots ruined and all.
My
And that's
gosh.
something I don't like. God, I panicked. I froze. And that's a big problem with me when it comes to panicking. Instead of acting, I freeze.
Yeah, no, I'm the opposite. You know, I can think and work under pressure and do what's right. Like I remember,
Right.
you know, I had an experience like with a health related thing. I'm actually going to push that story to a different podcast because
Okay.
I think we should wrap it up. We're at about an hour 45,
Yeah,
and I
sounds
think,
like a good plan.
you know, longest podcast so far.
Yeah.
You know, so time
Good
to wrap
stuff.
it up and call it quits, and we'll see you guys next week. So
Yeah.
it's been a pleasure
Full-
talking.
It's been a blast. Enjoyed it.
Yeah. Other than that,
See
I
you-
think we've covered a lot of things. You know, gaming. There's going to be a big portion of gaming next week. you
It's
know?
probably going to be all gaming next week
Yeah.
for
Oh, yeah.
Gamescom.
Yeah.
To be completely honest, it's
Big-
just a
big
GBBS
G.
special on Gamescom.
The G is like size 169. So
Funny.
yeah, that's the size of that G, and the other letters are going to be quite small, like size 1.
Really, really small. If they're even there next week, but yeah, it's
So-
been a blast. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, don't forget to email us any questions or any of that stuff. Playing the
Yeah.
the 5th, or let us know your games that you're looking forward to from whether
From
it be
Gamescom.
Gamescom or even just games in general. Yeah,
In general, yeah.
yeah. GBBSpodcast@gmail.com.
There you go.
And my name's been Nick, also known as Nickinator15 on the interwebs. Basically anywhere your thumbs can go,
That's right.
other
And,
than Instagram. That's the real
other than
Nickinator.
Instagram. The real Nickinator. And I am Bravo Chick. Twitch.tv/Bravo Chick or @BravoChick10 on Instagram and Twitter. It's been real. See you guys next week.
All right, peace out. Bye-bye.
Bye.